Alright guys, it's me again. I wanted to come on and show another way that you can subtract mixed numbers when you have to regroup. So we're going to do a different problem. This one we're going to do 5 and 1/6, and we're going to subtract 2 and 2/3. Alright, so again, if you're looking, you see you have that we don't have common denominators. So before we can start our subtraction, we have to get that common denominator. For this time to get our common denominator, we're going to list the multiples because I want to make sure that everybody sees all the different ways you can find those common denominators. All right, so to list the multiples, you want to start with your multiples of 6. You're going to start with the non-zero multiples. That means you do not start with 6 times 0 as your first multiple. You're going to start with 6 times 1. All right, so the first multiple of 6 is going to be 6. Then we have 6 times 2, which is 12. 6 times 3, which is 18. And 6 times 4, which is 24. All right, now we're going to list the multiples of 3, non-zero multiples, and we want to keep going until we find a match that both 6 and 3 share as a multiple. If we don't find one, then we can always extend our multiple list out. Okay, so the first multiple is going to be 3 times 1, which is 3. There's no match, so we keep going. 6 times 2, the next multiple is 6. And we see that we have a match of 6 as a least common multiple. So our LCM is going to be 6, which will also be the common denominator we're going to work with. All right, so now we're going to make those equivalent fractions using 6 as our common denominator. You want to make sure that you do bring over those whole numbers in our mixed number so we do not forget. All right, so 1/6 already has 6 as a common denominator. So if you want to do the steps, you know, you can say 6 times 1 equals 6. Whatever you do to the denominator, you also do to the numerator. So that's 1 times 1, which will give us 1. For our second fraction, 2/3, you have to multiply 3 times 2 to get that common denominator of 6. Whatever you do to the denominator, you also do to the numerator. So that's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. All right, so now we have those common denominators, and we can start our subtraction. But if you look, we're trying to subtract 4 from 1, and we cannot do that. So we have to regroup. All right, so this time to regroup, we're going to change our mixed number into an improper fraction, and you'll see how that allows you to be able to regroup. To change your mixed number to an improper fraction, you take your whole number and you multiply it by your denominator. So that's going to be 5 times 6, which equals 30. And then you add your numerator, so that would be 31. And that becomes your numerator. And we're going to keep our common denominator of 6. All right, we're also going to have to change 2 and 4/6 into an improper fraction. So that will be 2 times 6, which is 12. Sorry, bell's ringing. And then 12 plus 4, which is 16. And you're going to keep that common denominator of 6. Now, if you see, we can subtract 16 from 31. I can come over to my scratch paper in case I struggle with that. 31 minus 16. Okay, I cannot regroup. I cannot subtract 6 from 1, but I can regroup that 3 because I have it in there. Change that to a 2. Bring those 10 over. So that'll make my 1 11. So that's going to be 11 minus 6, which is 5. 2 minus 1, which is 1. So that's going to bring my numerator to be 15. And I keep my denominator of 6. Now this answer is an improper fraction, so we have to change it into a mixed number. So we do that by dividing 6 into 15. I can do that 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract, I get 3. And then I get 3 over 6. And I see that 3 is half of 6. So that means I can simplify this fraction to 2 and 1/2. Alright, so that is another way that you can subtract mixed numbers when you might have to regroup, changing that mixed number into an improper fraction and then subtracting. I hope this video helps any students or parents who might need to work with their students on subtracting mixed numbers, and this is just another strategy that you can use. See y'all later. Have a good day.